Why good tradesmen are hard to find and what can be done about it. Now, if you don't know me, my name's Dean Barton. I've been in the construction industry for nearly 20 years. So I've experienced it on all different levels, all different phases of the economy and times. And I want to start this video with, really, we've got a problem. We've got a massive issue in the industry. It's becoming increasingly difficult. And I wanted to start with the actual statistics and the facts from government resources that we know about. So number one, when you look at the reality of what's going on in the industry right now, the first point is 33% of the workforce are 50 plus. They're aged 50 plus. So the next 10 years, they're going to be looking at hanging up their boots and getting out and retiring. A lot of these people are wanting to slow down now because, let's be honest, working hard physically on the tools, on site, it's got a lifespan to it. It's got a shelf life. You can't do it forever, which is a massive problem because it's a third of the industry. Third of the industry trying to slow down. But the next big problem, point number two I've got here, is that 29% of the industry, there is a reduction in under 24-year-olds getting into the industry. So when we look at this and we go, wow, hold on, a third of the market are trying to get out and slow down, and there's a 30% reduction in people trying to get into the industry under 24, it's going to create this massive bottleneck right in the middle, which is going to create issues for people like us with businesses in the industry, but also for customers of getting stuff done because there's a lack of people coming through and more people want to get out. Point number three I've got here is that the government estimate that there is 166,000 shortage of skilled workers right now, this year, 2024. That's the recommended, or the estimated, should I say, shortage of skilled workers. And they estimate that figure to be 250,000 people shortage by 2030. So it's increasing year on year. The problem is getting worse and worse and worse. It's only going to build up. And I think we're going to see a lot of issues in the industry because this problem isn't going to be easily solved and it's not going to go away overnight. Point number four, from the surveys completed, when they surveyed young people, so people that are leaving school and considering what to do next, that report showed that 49% of the youth have never even considered the industry. They've never even thought about it. They've never even thought, oh, maybe that's a good career option for me. Because it's just not talked about enough. The industry is sort of behind on times. And we'll dig into that on this video and why I think that is. But if nearly 50% of people aren't even considering the industry, it's no wonder we've got this issue of no people going into it. So we've got to change that. We've got to solve that problem. And then number five, the construction industry as a whole, whether it's a plumbing business, whether it's carpentry, whether it's roofing, scaffolding, decorating, the whole industry is worth £130 billion a year to the UK economy. And they estimate that we are 12 billion a year behind because of the lack of people to do the work. The demand is there, but we haven't got enough people within it. So it's costing the UK economy 12 billion a year not being spent in this industry just because of a lack of people available to do the work. And that equates to 9% of the total UK workforce. 9% of people that work in England are in the construction industry. It's massive, massive, massive player. It's a very big thing, and we've got to look after it, and we've got to improve it. And then lastly, number seven, the construction industry, that £130 billion a year spent in the UK, that is 7% of the total economy. It's just a massive, highly valuable industry that we've all got to look after. And the things that I'm going to discuss in this video are things that we can all do to help improve on this problem and how we get around it. And the thing is, for me, statistics are great, and this is actual factual information from government sources, and people spend a lot of time doing this stuff and compiling this information. But that aside, actually on the ground, and I think you'll all agree with me when you're in the industry, is that on the ground there is a lack of labour. We all know it's difficult to get skilled labour. They are not waiting around waiting for jobs. There is not an endless supply of people just sitting there waiting to be phoned or interviewed to come and do work for you. It's very, very difficult. There is a lack of labour on the ground. And we do know that when you've got a decent company, customers are waiting. Customers are not getting jobs done next week. They are waiting for people to come around. You phone a good plumber right now, you'll be lucky for him to come around in the next couple of weeks and then just to look at the job, let alone actually go and complete the job. Carpentry is the same, electrical is the same. Any skilled trade within the industry, you're not getting your job done tomorrow, you've got to wait for it. So the customers are waiting. So on the ground, we know that's reality. So this is the facts and that's the reality. But now we need to look at, well, what can we actually do about this to solve this problem? So let's look at the main things that are all going to come into play with this. Number one is demand. The demand is always going to be there with the construction industry, which is a good thing. We need demand, we want demand, because when there is a supply and demand problem, you can charge higher prices, which equals more money. And look at the UK. The whole infrastructure is ruined. All the roads need replacing, all the buildings need replacing. People are growing, people need more homes. There's always going to be a massive demand, which is a great thing from a business perspective. That demand curve is there, it's set for the future, it's never going away. And that's what I love about the construction industry. It's never going to be disrupted, it's never going to be changed. People are always going to need somewhere to live, people are always going to need somewhere to go, to stay, to learn, to be educated. We're always going to need buildings and infrastructure. So it's a fantastic industry. And that's one thing that we need to promote more about the industry, that it's never going to go away. It's a fantastic industry to be in. And to be honest, look at some of the buildings we're building. They're fantastic, they're beautiful, they're stunning. There's some great projects to work on. And there's two sides to the industry. There's low-level, boring stuff, but there's actually really nice, highly valuable works available in the marketplace. So that demand thing is great. It's always going to be there. And that's something we just got to recognise. It's never, ever going away. Now, if we look at the main factors of why we've got this problem, aged workers, what can we really do about that? Not really a great deal, because the fact is, people are just getting old. We can't change that. That's facts of life. People are getting old, they're going to want to get out. But what we need to do is ensure that these aged workers, the skills are passed on. Because a lot of things are dying out. And you guys know yourself, like a lot of skills are learned just by years and years of being in the industry, in the trade, experience, knowledge. This has got to be passed on. Because otherwise knowledge dies. Now, what can we do that as business owners? Well, we need to grow businesses that can accommodate older people to be within the business and be the leaders of the business, to actually train the youth that are coming into it. So we've got to create businesses that have, one, got the cash flow to be able to do that, and got the work and the opportunity to be able to fulfill those jobs. But there's not really much we can do about that apart from making sure that we pass the knowledge on. But the biggest factor that I believe is the problem with the industry is the image. Now, when I was growing up, and you can probably relate to this, construction industry was seen as dirty. And it was seen as, if you're a bit thick and you're a bit slow and you're not skilled, you're not gifted, you go into a trade. And you learn a skill. What's the classic saying? Learn a trade, you've always got something to fall back on. That was like the get out card of, well, you're not that clever, so go and work in a trade. But the reality is, people in this industry are actually very clever. We're not thick at all. The image is completely wrong. Like, you have to be a very skilled person to, one, run a business in this industry, but actually, two, be a skilled tradesman. Like, it's very clever. Like, the use of maths, of attention to detail, organisation, accounting from the business side. You need a lot of very good high value skills. And obviously you can go into the industry and be someone like a quantity surveyor or an estimator. Like, the image is completely wrong. The image is completely backwards. Like, it is probably one of the most skilled professions available in the marketplace. Obviously exempt from people like doctors, dentists, highly educated people. And I think this is actually part of the problem, that you're only seen as educated in the world if you go to university and you get a degree. Whereas the facts are, most of the people that I know that have been to university actually just tossed it off for 4 years and didn't actually achieve anything. And didn't actually end up going to get a job in the degree or the education that they've got, and ended up doing something completely different. Whereas construction is seen as dirty, negative, as low end, when the fact is it's completely the other way around. But what can we really do about that to change the industry? And I think to change the image, we need to make it look cool. Because the industry is cool. You guys will know when you're in it. We get to build really cool stuff. We get to be involved in really nice projects, really nice stuff that's, unless you're in it, you don't really know about. People just see the dirty workers working on a road or digging a hole. That's a small percentage of the industry. A lot of it is really exciting, good projects, and we've got to make it cool again. And the only way to really do that in this day and age is social media. Every young person under 24 years old, they are glued to their phone. They are glued to social media. They watch YouTube more than TV. They're not looking at mainstream media. They're looking at the cool stuff on socials. And these types of people, the issue we've got is, if you think about it from a skill set point of view, people go into building or skilled trades because they want to build stuff. They're good at their hands. They like building things. But what we've had in the last 20 years is what's more available is building digital things. So we've got the same skill sets, but they're used in different areas. So people are building websites instead. Or they're building digital stuff. So we need to make it just as appealing to build digital stuff to now being back to being appealing to building physical stuff in the real world. And that's the challenge we've got, because the internet has dominated this part of the world, and it's attracted those people, the builders' mindset, the engineers' mindset, into that side of the world, whereas we need to get it back into the physical side of the world. And the only way we're going to do that is if we've got more businesses promoting their companies on social media, creating YouTube channels, things like this video, and actually talking about it more, making it more mainstream. Because what did I say to begin with? One of these statistics are, nearly 50% of people aren't even considering this industry because we haven't got the visibility. And I do believe every business now, if you're in the construction industry watching this, if you grow and create social media presence and make it exciting, make it cool, you are going to attract good labour, you're going to attract good staff, and also good customers as well. So it's a win-win, like on all levels. And I think if you're not leveraging social media in this day and age, you are missing a massive trick, and you're deliberately making things hard for yourself to attract good people into your company. And it's not just about customers. I think this is where people go wrong with social media. It's not just to get customers, it's to get skilled labour, workforce, subcontractors as well. And we've got to make it cool. And the only way we're going to make it cool is by being visible. Social media is the highest leverage tool to be able to do that. You've got to demonstrate and show off your company and say, look, we're amazing at what we do. Do you want to come and work with us? And entice people to come and work for us. But image is everything. Image is absolutely everything, because if it looks shit, people don't want to get involved. Whereas if it looks cool, people want to get involved. So we've got to change the image. It's only going to change one company at a time by us taking responsibility for it and actually promoting the industry as a whole. Then, when we look at opportunity, people don't really see opportunity in the industry. They don't see it as a career path. They don't see it as longevity. They just see it as a means to an end. Now, obviously, look, every industry is the same. Some people will just come into the industry, do their day's work, go home, and they're not career-driven people, they're not ambitious people. But the select people that are, don't think they understand the opportunity available. Because when you start on the tools, like I did, you can start on the tools, and I think that's the best way. Because you get to really learn the industry. You understand how things are built physically, on site, on tools, learning the industry, learning people. And I think this industry will teach you so much more about the wider learning how people work, psychology, negotiating with people, getting things done, team morale, leadership, all that type of stuff is learned on site. But what people don't realise is that the opportunity is then to go into management. It's then going to in a business owner. And it's just endless. You can do endless things in this industry that's got so much opportunity, it's just not talked about. And the facts are, even just on the tools, someone earning decent day rate money on the tools can earn more than a doctor that's been at university for 4 to 7 years. And it's just not talked about enough. The opportunity is massive. It is huge. So how do we promote that more? It goes back to this. We've got to be selling the industry and selling our vision of the companies and say, you've got a great opportunity here. And I don't think people realise the opportunity of what money you can earn by just being on the tools and being a skilled worker. You can earn fantastic money, which is actually the main thing. Because what do people actually want? People go to work for money. At the end of the day, people have got bills to pay, they've got a lifestyle they want to have. People go to work for money, to earn money. And the money is there in this industry. It is there. You can earn great money. And you can keep going up in that money at the different levels that you go. And the main thing is, what people really want, as well as the money, is you've got to think from an employed person's mindset. We as entrepreneurs don't think like that, but we have to think like most people. We have to think like how our workforce are thinking. They really want stability. People want to work in a secure environment where they're going to have repeat work. They don't have to worry about where the next meal is coming from, where the next paycheck is coming from. They want stability. That's why people choose employment as their route forward. They also want progress. You know, people want to be moving forward. They want to see things going forward. No one wants to be part of a dying ship. And they also want appreciation. People that work in jobs, they want to be appreciated. That actually becomes more valuable than money when they get to a certain point. And stability, progress, and appreciation only comes from really successful companies. So the responsibility is on, let's draw it this way, us guys that are here. It's us guys that are here. We've done this stuff and we're here. We're the guys that own the businesses today and now. We're the guys that can give people stability, progress and appreciation by running really decent companies, by being very visible on social media and building brands and attracting people into it. It's only going to change if we change and if we develop and grow businesses and provide basically the opportunity to people. It's only going to change at that level. It's never going to change at government level. It's never ever going to happen. It's never going to be changed by a miraculous string or cord that the government can pull and change this. It's only going to change if we take control and step up to the plate as the business owners in it now. So this video, I basically implore you guys, if you're like me, you own small businesses in the industry, we've got to do it. We've got to take ownership and we've got to build the relationships with the younger people to come in and give them the opportunity to learn and provide an environment for the right people. So, hope that's been useful, guys. Simple video. Loads more stuff and loads more content on the podcast. If you're not listening to it already, there's a link below this. Loads of information on the whole industry and helping you guys grow the business and just factual stuff like this. I'll say it how it is. I'll see you on the next one.